Yo, what is good, NFL fans? Welcome back to Touchdown Kingdom, the hub of all the latest NFL content. And boy, am I excited to give you guys our first edition of the 2022 NFL Mock Draft Series that will be launching here on Touchdown Kingdom. We're going to try to come out with a mock draft every single week, leading all the way till the draft, all the way in late April. So if you guys are new to Touchdown Kingdom or not subscribed, please make sure you do so, as we have so much NFL content coming your way, covering all throughout the offseason, free agency, NFL draft, all that great stuff. And also, if you guys want to make sure you hit that like button, that would be greatly appreciated as well. Also, feel free to comment down below some of your mock drafts. I would love to hear what you guys have to say and any of your opinions on if you agree with the pick or disagree with the pick. And just so you guys know, this is the first edition of our mock draft series, where we're going to be posting a weekly video of our first round mock draft. So with that being said, let's jump right into our first edition of the 2022 first round mock draft. With the first overall pick, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Neal, offensive tackle, Alabama. Another first overall pick for Jacksonville. At the last year's draft, the Jaguars received a lot of criticism for not making more of an effort to protect Trevor Lawrence in his rookie season. They cannot afford to make the same mistake this year, and drafting Neal would only make sense. He's a physical player from one of the best programs in the country, and is exactly what Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars need on that offensive line. With the second pick, we have the Detroit Lions selecting Aidan Hutchinson, edge rusher, Michigan. Dan Campbell is trying to build something in Detroit, and Aidan Hutchinson would feel right at home playing in the state of Michigan once again. His speed and presence coming off the edge would be a welcome addition to the Detroit Lions defense. Quarterbacks beware, because Aidan Hutchinson is a beast. With the third overall pick, we have the Houston Texans selecting Kyle Hamilton, safety, Notre Dame. He's one of the most exciting defensive players to come out of college in recent years, and his incredible versatility at the safety position will be too tempting for the Texans to pass up. It will be interesting to see if the Texans do take Kyle Hamilton, because that means they will be passing on a guy like Kayvon Thibodeaux. But there's no question, Hamilton's ball hawking skills are elite, and his speed and size are dangerous. He'll be a captain on their defense from day one. With the fourth pick, we have the New York Jets selecting Kayvon Thibodeaux, edge rusher, Oregon. For all of their ups and downs as an organization, the Jets have always managed to put together a competent defense. Not last year, however. After finishing 32nd in the league, head coach Robert Saleh is in desperate need of adding more talent to his defense. There's nobody better at 4 than Kayvon Thibodeaux, an absolute dominant edge presence that would be scary on the opposite side of a healthy Carl Lawson. With the fifth pick, we have the New York Giants selecting Ekwonu, offensive lineman, NC State. The Giants are one of the many teams that are seeing lots of internal changes this offseason. One thing remains the same for the New York Giants, however. Daniel Jones needs more help, and drafting a dominant tackle like Ekwonu to play on the opposite side of Andrew Thomas would be invaluable for the Giants. They need to make sure they value the line of scrimmage, and I think that this is the right pick with Ekwonu. With the sixth pick, we have the Carolina Panthers selecting Charles Cross, offensive lineman, Mississippi State. It's no secret that Sam Darnold probably is not the long-term answer for the Panthers at the quarterback position, but this is not the year to draft a quarterback at number 6. The Panthers' offensive line did not do well last season, and Charles Cross would be a great addition to the struggling group. Charles Cross has potential to be an elite offensive lineman in this league, and I think this is a no-brainer for the Carolina Panthers. With the seventh pick, we have the New York Giants selecting George Karlaftis, edge rusher, Purdue. Games are won and lost in the trenches, and the Giants upgraded their offensive line at pick number 5, and now they're upgraded their defensive line 2 picks later at number 7. Karlaftis has just as much upside as any other edge in this draft. He will be a great addition to the Giants defense that's dreaming about the days of Michael Strahan and Justin Tuck. With the 8th pick, we have the Atlanta Falcons selecting David Ojabo, edge rusher, Michigan. The Falcons defense needs some firepower, and adding a player like David Ojabo will bring just that. His size and speed at the edge, combined with his instincts for getting the football out of the quarterback's hands, will make Ojabo a dangerous addition to any defense. With the 9th pick, we have the Denver Broncos selecting Matt Corral, quarterback, Ole Miss. This is the first quarterback of the 2022 NFL Draft that is off the board. The quarterback position in this draft class is very interesting, and I'm really excited to see how things play out as the draft combine approaches in the Senior Bowl to see which quarterback becomes the #1 guy in this draft class. But for now, as we're really early in the draft process, we're taking Matt Corral to the Denver Broncos. I feel like Matt Corral is a really good option at the quarterback position because his arm talent gives him a ton of upside. With the 10th pick, we have the New York Jets selecting Treylon Burks, wide receiver, Arkansas. Zach Wilson needs some help from his receivers, and drafting a player like Treylon Burks would be invaluable for the young quarterback. The Jets hit on wide receiver Elijah Moore last season in the draft, and now they'll draft another receiver. This time, he's 6'3" and 225 pounds with almost 11-inch long hands. Burks is a player that the Jets will not want to pass up. I feel like Treylon Burks would fit the Mike LaFleur offense beautifully. With the 11th pick, the Washington Now Commanders will select Nakobe Dean, linebacker, Georgia. Washington's defense is super talented on paper, but their play on the field took a massive step back in 2021. Adding a defensive playmaker like Nakobe Dean would help bring this defense where it needs to go. With the 12th pick, we have the Minnesota Vikings selecting Ahmad Sauce Gardner, cornerback, Cincinnati. The Vikings secondary could use some help this offseason, and Sauce Gardner would be a perfect fit for almost any defense. He goes by Sauce for a reason, and he'll be a difference maker from day one. He led up 0 touchdowns last year. I think this man might be the best cornerback in this draft, and I'm excited to see what he can do as a rookie and years beyond. With the 13th pick, we have the Cleveland Browns selecting Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State. It's no secret that the Browns need some help in the receiver room. OBJ was a mid-season trade, and Jarvis Landry spent so much time dealing with injuries. The Cleveland Browns passing attack was super inconsistent last year. We feel as if the Cleveland Browns select Garrett Wilson, you'll be adding a young dynamic playmaker for a quarterback in Baker Mayfield who's trying to get back on track the way he was in his rookie season. With the 14th pick, we have the Baltimore Ravens selecting Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback, LSU. A lot of people know that LSU is often referred to as DBU, for the amount of defensive backs that come out of that program and see success in the NFL. If it was not for his injury problems, I feel like he could go top 5 in this year's draft class. That's how talented Derek Stingley is. I truly believe if he can stay healthy in the NFL, he has a chance to be one of the top cornerbacks in the entire league. With the 15th pick, we have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Devin Lloyd, linebacker, Utah. The Eagles' linebacking core has needed some work over the past couple of years now, and Devin Lloyd would be a perfect addition to this defense. He has every single trait that you want out of a starting linebacker in the NFL: size, speed, athleticism, and the smarts. He will be a special player in the NFL, and the Eagles could get their franchise linebacker here with Devin Lloyd. With the 16th pick, we have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Drake London, wide receiver, USC. The Eagles are back on the clock and are once again drafting a wide receiver in the first round. Devontae Smith looks like he'll pan out, but Jalen Reagor does not, and drafting somebody like Drake London, a 6'5" high point catching machine, would only help Jalen Hurts develop his game as a passer even more. With the 17th pick, we have the LA Chargers selecting Trent McDuffie, cornerback, Washington. McDuffie is a very versatile corner. He can basically line up at any spot in the secondary and be very effective. He should be used as a moving chess piece on defense, and the Chargers secondary could certainly use some improvement. He would be a great fit for Brandon Staley's defense. With the 18th pick, we have the New Orleans Saints selecting Sam Howell, quarterback, North Carolina. Drew Brees is gone, and now so is Sean Payton. The New Orleans Saints are about to look very different next year. It doesn't really seem that Taysom Hill is a reliable starting quarterback in this league, but the Saints are still financially committed to having him on the roster. With the Saints being in cap hell, that probably means they're not going to be able to land a veteran quarterback in free agency as they just don't have enough money to afford it. So what could they do? They could take a flyer on a quarterback in this year's draft class in Sam Howell and try to develop him to be the future of the franchise. I think this would be a smart pick for the New Orleans Saints. With the 19th pick, we have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Trayvon Walker, defensive lineman, Georgia. As good as they are, Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham cannot play football forever. By drafting Trayvon Walker, the Eagles will effectively double down on their best position group and ensure that their defensive line continues to be a threat down the road. With the 20th pick, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Kenny Pickett, quarterback out of Pittsburgh. The Big Ben era is officially over for the Steelers, and unless they feel comfortable with Mason Rudolph or Dwayne Haskins as their future quarterback, Kenny Pickett would make a ton of sense for them as he can develop behind one of these two quarterbacks and try to be the franchise quarterback for the future for the Pittsburgh Steelers. With the 21st pick, we have the New England Patriots selecting Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback, Clemson. New England would be wise to invest in the cornerback position since Stefon Diggs' era is officially behind them. Andrew Booth Jr. has the perfect size to play cornerback in the NFL, and his speed and intensity would be a great fit for the Bill Belichick's defense. With the 22nd pick, the Las Vegas Raiders select Chris Olave, wide receiver, Ohio State. The Raiders are going to need to replace the big play potential that was Henry Ruggs, and Chris Olave seems like the perfect player to do just that. He has incredible speed and his routes are crisp. He would give Derek Carr another weapon to throw the ball to, and I feel like the Raiders would love to add him to the playmakers group under new head coach Josh McDaniels. With the 23rd pick, we have the Arizona Cardinals selecting Kenyon Green, offensive lineman, Texas A&M. The Cardinals would be wise to bolster up their offensive line this offseason. That particular position group has had a lot of problems last year for the Arizona Cardinals, especially in the second half of the season. A versatile player like Green, who can play multiple spots across the line, would be a perfect fit for Cliff Kingsbury's offense. With the 24th pick, we have the Dallas Cowboys selecting DeMarvin Leal, defensive tackle, Texas A&M. With both Randy Gregory and Carlos Watkins set to hit the open market this offseason, Dallas would be wise to bolster up their defensive line in the draft. A player like DeMarvin Leal can play at multiple spots on the defensive line, and he'll be a valuable addition to an already dangerous Cowboys defense that includes Micah Parsons and Trevon Diggs. With the 25th pick, we have the Buffalo Bills selecting Kaiir Elam, cornerback, Florida. The Bills have had the best defense in the league last year, and they were especially effective against the pass. They did, however, lose their best defensive back in Tre'Davious White to an injury last year and could definitely afford to double down on one of their best position groups with the way that the roster is looking right now. I feel like Kaiir would add a huge, big-time playmaker to that already scary Bills defense. With the 26th pick, we have the Tennessee Titans selecting Jermaine Johnson II, edge rusher, Florida State. Harold Landry is set to enter free agency, and the Titans should look to replace his production. And giving Mike Vrabel a new piece to this defense sounds like a good idea. Jermaine Johnson has great speed and finesse coming off the edge and would improve the Titans' defense without a doubt. With the 27th pick, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting Malik Willis, quarterback, Liberty. Tom Brady has officially retired, and it's truly the end of an era in the NFL. Now, it's time to draft Brady's replacement, and Malik Willis would be a great addition to this high-flying offense. His playstyle is vastly different from Tom Brady, but I do believe that Bruce Arians can get the best out of a player like Willis with so much upside. With the 28th pick, we have the Green Bay Packers selecting Jordan Davis, defensive lineman, Georgia. The Packers defense could definitely use some bolstering up front, and Jordan Davis is a great late-round pickup for the Green Bay Packers defense. He's been described as a one-man wrecking crew and would improve the Packers' run defense almost immediately. Building up the offensive line should still remain the Dolphins' highest priority heading into the offseason, and Trevor Penning is a strong, reliable tackle and an elite run blocker. The Dolphins cannot afford to leave the offensive line unaddressed this year. With the 30th pick, we have the Kansas City Chiefs selecting Jameson Williams, wide receiver, Alabama. The Chiefs' offense just got a whole lot scarier, by next October at least. Jameson Williams was one of the top-ranked players at his position before tearing his ACL in the national championship game this past year. He'll be ready to go by 2023, and it would be an insane addition to an already electric Chiefs offense. The Chiefs will continue to play winning football, and are one of the teams that can afford to spend a premium draft capital on a player that will not play in 2022. With the 31st pick, we have the Cincinnati Bengals selecting Tyler Linderbaum, center, Iowa. Jamar Chase has clearly worked out for the Bengals last year, but with the amount of hits Joe Burrow has taken since entering the league, they definitely need to address the offensive line in this year's draft. If Tyler Linderbaum even lasts to 31, the Bengals have to take him, because I'm honestly expecting Tyler Linderbaum to even potentially be top 10 in the draft. But in this mock, we had him falling to the Bengals because I feel like it's a match made in heaven for the Cincinnati Bengals. Their offensive line needs some work, and Joe Burrow took them to the Super Bowl without a good offensive line, so imagine what they can do if they can bolster that and protect Joe Burrow consistently. With the 32nd pick, the Detroit Lions select Brian Cook, safety, Cincinnati. Detroit has a lot of players from the secondary that are headed to free agency this year, and bolstering up the position group should be a priority for Dan Campbell and the Lions. Brian Cook is a very versatile safety who can line up in the box and is phenomenal at stopping the run. He can also line up in the slot as well as a true safety position, and will be a perfect addition to the Lions secondary. That does it for Touchdown Kingdom's first edition of their first round NFL mock draft. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure you smash that like button and also comment down below some of your thoughts of the video. I'm super excited to continue this series all the way leading up into the draft because we got so many mock drafts coming your way. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.